A clause has a subject and a verb. For example, they live in Chicago. Here's the subject and here is the verb. A clause is a combination of a subject and a verb. They live. Here's the subject and then here's the verb. Additional information may be added. For example, I can put the location, this is a prepositional phrase, added on to the subject and the verb. But as long as you have a matching subject and a verb, then you have a clause. Because I like pizza has a subject and a verb. In this case, this is a dependent clause. This needs additional information. Because I like pizza, I ordered 3. This is the independent clause. I ordered 3. And here's the dependent clause. You have 2 clauses here. This is the subject, this is the verb, this is the subject, and then this is the verb. In the morning is a phrase. There's no subject and there's no verb. But I can add the subject. Here, the subject is she. And then here's the verb. She left in the morning. This is a clause, and it also forms a sentence. It could also be considered an independent clause. She left in the morning before everyone woke up. Now I have 2 clauses. This is the independent clause, and this is a dependent clause, starting with this conjunction. The subject is everyone, and then the verb is woke up. In English, there are 2 main categories for clauses. There's the independent clause, and this can function as a sentence by itself. And then there's the dependent clause. The dependent clause does not function as a sentence by itself. The dependent clause would be one of these 3 categories: the noun clause, an adjective clause, or an adverb clause. In English, we often add together the independent and the dependent clauses to form sentences.
Do you know what time the movie starts? The movie that we saw last night was really great. We went out for pizza after we saw the movie.
In English, it's very common to add these together: the dependent clause with an independent clause, or 2 independent clauses, or an independent clause and 2 dependent clauses, or 2 or 3 dependent clauses with 2 or 3 independent clauses. English can be very complex, and when you're forming sentences, you're actually putting these together.